Guys, it is time to earn your Sunday presented by Lowe's. That means we are in the speed round, and I mean speed, okay? You're going to give me the first thing that comes to mind when I mention, actually, I'll start with you on this one, Coach. Daniel Jones, the Colts dominating Tua and the Dolphins.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm so happy for him. Not a great environment for him in New York for a lot of years. Went to Indy, won the job, played really well. I think the fit between him and Shane Steichen's really good for the Colts.
Start your office pools as to the day that Tyreek Hill will be traded back to the Chiefs. Seriously,
I like that. Yeah,
he's going to be
I like that
this
call.
year's Devontae Adams. And we interviewed Tyreek Hill at the Super Bowl and asked him about whether he has any regrets in leaving the Chiefs, and he said, yes, I do. And they're going to need him. They're going to need him. And I think it's going to happen. Just like Devontae Adams last year going to the Jets, I think it's going to be Tyreek Hill going to the Chiefs.
And if that happens, I'm going to slip in a quick fantasy nugget.
Okay.
Pick up Malik Washington, who's a young wide receiver there for Miami that plays the Tyreek Hill position. If Tyreek will leave, Malik Washington can absolutely fly. But my one word is legit. I think this was legit. Shane Steichen is a good coach, and he just hasn't had a quarterback. And now he's got a quarterback in Daniel Jones who is mobile and can run the kind of RPO and kind of offense that Steichen likes to run. Like, they have talent everyone else. They have a decent offensive line. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor, nice pass catchers as well. Tyler Warren is going to be a beast in this league. And so I think this was legit.
How about the Broncos sacking Cam Ward 6 times?
You know, Denver led the league in sacks last year, and they started off again with 6 today. And, you know, it's hard to play quarterback in the National Football League. It's hard to be a rookie. It's hard to be a rookie on the worst team in the league from last year. And so Cam Ward, there are going to be some growing pains. Not an easy place to play, to go to Denver against that defense in week 1. They actually hung in there for a while, but, you know, Denver's legit. They're a good football team.
Yeah, my first thought is those sacks were necessary. The Denver offense wasn't as good out of the gates as we thought it would be. Bo Nix wasn't as good as we thought he'd be. That's Sean Payton's specialty. He's lucky Vance Joseph is still there to run the defense. They've added some pieces to it. That defense should be very good, and it was good enough today. Without that defense, they could have been upset.
I'd say patience. Last year in week 1, the three rookie quarterbacks that started the first week, Bo Nix, Jane Daniels, Caleb Williams, none of them threw a touchdown pass in their debut last year. And so Cam Ward went on the road to Denver to the best defense in the NFL and came within 1 score of beating these guys. They're rebuilding something in Tennessee, and so I would say patience. If I was a Titans fan, you never want to say there's a moral victory, but like, they hung tough with a hell of a defense.
What about Pete Carroll beating Mike Vrabel in their NFL debuts?
You know, I just thought about the decision he made to bring Geno Smith there. You know, when you're starting a program, to have a quarterback like that, you know him. He's accomplished. He can play. I thought that was a really good decision. I kept thinking about that today. Genty's going to be a guy who's going to be a featured player for them going forward, but Geno was the star of the day. That's a good fit there. It's a good partnership.
The Patriots still have a lot of talent holes that need to be filled. I thought they'd win. I thought they'd pull it off. Credit to the Raiders for going there and winning. And it is a little awkward when a guy who owns a piece of the Raiders has a statue out in front of the Patriots Stadium. I don't know how that worked today with the Tom Brady statue, but still, Brady gets the bragging rights for now on the Patriots.
Underrated was my reaction here. You mentioned Geno Smith. I thought he was brilliant. He's somebody that's sort of kind of been forgotten, you know. And how about Jacoby Myers going back as well? Had a big game as part with that connection with him and Geno Smith as well. And so I just think, you know, because that division, you've got Mahomes and the Chiefs. You've got the Broncos who are up and coming. You've got Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers, right? There's just so much star power in that division. Everyone's just sort of forgotten about the Raiders. But good for Pete Carroll, who throughout his career as a coach has always gotten the most out of players. And you saw it today with Geno Smith, Jacoby Myers. And honestly, that defense, which going into this week, Pro Football Focus said was the 32nd ranked secondary, the final 7 drives for the Patriots, 5 punts, an interception, and a field goal.
Patrick Graham, their defensive coordinator, does an excellent job disguising things.
Yeah.
And Drake May looked confused to me at different times throughout the game. He never really got into a rhythm throwing the ball.
By the way, you guys know what I meant. Their debut with their new teams. We got here at 10 a.m. It's 10 p.m. and they don't know what a lightning round is. Okay? The Bucs beating the Falcons in a wild finish.
Wow.
Hey, speed round, you know my word. Moxie. I like the moxie of Michael Penix. I like the moxie of Baker Mayfield. I really do.
I really think this one is one the Bucs needed. They've been overlooked. They had 2 tough losses to the Falcons last year in high-scoring games. They're on a mission to prove a lot of people wrong, and it was good to see them pull it out. I feel bad for the Falcons, but the Buccaneers really are the better team, and it shouldn't have been as close as it was.
Just resilient. Baker Mayfield is underrated. I think he is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and he's never discussed that way. He's never talked about in the upper echelon of quarterbacks, and he willed his team to win today like he has done so many times since he's gotten to Tampa Bay.
Last but not least, the Giants failing to score a touchdown for their 3rd straight season opener.
Yeah, it's the offensive line. My Commanders, we have a nice defense. We don't have a dominant defense. I guess we'll see. But, poor Russell Wilson just never had a chance to get any kind of rhythm going because they were all over him. That offensive line is a mess. And if you can't block, it's hard to score points.
I'll just say this. Russell Wilson's $11.5 million incentive package relied in part upon the Giants going 17-0. And I had said in the offseason, if the Giants go 17-0, I will get John Mara's face tattooed on my arm. So my arm is safe.
We're happy for you.
So I'm very happy.
You said that out loud.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Why John Mayer?
No, John Mara, the owner of the team.
Oh, I thought you said John Mayer.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
John Mara.
That would have been random.
Why would you do that?
Right.
John Mayer or John Mayer.
That would have been. That's right.
Body's a wonderland.
Yeah.
We got to go.
Well, off the rails. It's week 1.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.